we feel like intimacy is the main goal of marriage, and we know that many couples are longing for more of it. But what exactly is intimacy? Today, we'll explore the answer to that question.
In our last episode, we talked about these two paths, the path of intimacy, where you're growing closer, and the path of separation, where you're slowly drifting apart. But what exactly is intimacy? Intimacy, according to the Bible, is being fully known and completely loved. Because what the Bible describes as being naked without shame is the way God designed marriage to operate.
In Genesis 2:24-25, it says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed."
Naked and not ashamed. That's what God designed for your marriage. And for intimacy to thrive, you need the nakedness of transparency and the unashamedness of being met with love and grace. That's how the first marriage was, and that's how God designed marriage to operate even today. It's about being all in, about not holding back, about not hiding. Being naked isn't just talking about physical nakedness. It's talking about being naked and transparent in every area of your marriage. Fully present, fully known, and that takes a great deal of vulnerability. It's risky, right? It's scary stuff to bring the fullness of who you are to your marriage. And it takes intentionality, and it takes being purposeful about being who you are in front of your spouse.
It is not easy, but you can't fake it because there's no such thing as fake intimacy, right?
It doesn't work.
It can't happen without transparency. That's what it is, and vulnerability. It's bringing your best and the worst of you, your victories and your failures, your dreams and your disappointments, your strengths and weaknesses. And I don't like anybody seeing what I hate about myself.
A few years ago, we ran a poll, and I asked this generic question, the same one we're exploring today. What is intimacy? And I just left it completely fill in the blank, whatever you wanted. And it was interesting. We expected to see great differences between men and women, but that wasn't really the case. In fact, almost across the board, men's answers and women's answers were pretty much in line within a few percent, but there was one area where it was different. And that is that wives, on more than a 7-to-1 difference, mentioned things like transparency and vulnerability. Husbands hardly mention that at all in their definition.
It's not only being transparent yourself, but when your partner is being transparent and so vulnerable, it's reaching across and showing love and acceptance and grace.
Right, because the second part of this equation, naked without shame, requires that when we get vulnerable, when we allow ourselves to be seen, that we be met with grace instead of judgment or criticism, that we be met with unconditional love, that our spouse is willing to look behind our weaknesses and failures, look beyond them, and see who we really are. So we know that marriage is supposed to mirror our relationship with Christ. And this is exactly how God loves us. He meets our weakness and vulnerability with love and grace. He celebrates who we are. He forgives us when we mess up. He encourages us toward who he designed us to be, who we really are, even when our behavior doesn't measure up. Every step that you take in the direction of being transparent and of showing love and grace makes a difference. Even just baby steps, small things that you can do to be more transparent, to be more real with each other, to be more present.
It all starts with baby steps.
And to respond to your spouse's difficulties or struggles or screw-ups with love and grace. So this week, look for chances to show grace and love. Look for chances to be present and be real.
Be that safe person that your spouse can come to with their failures and their struggles, because you're the perfect person to help them and support them.
So if you found this information helpful, we hope you'll like and share it with your friends. We'd love for you to subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell so you can follow along as we talk more and more about this idea of intimacy in marriage.
And it's all in Scott's book, The Path of Intimacy. If you're interested, check that out too.
We'll leave a link in the description below.